Bass.
To do all of them.
There you go.
No, you wanted to.
Episode 24. Dysfunctional family. The only take. Action. Oh crap! I should have said action first. Yo, you opened my heart up and brought me back to love. You opened my heart up.
Who is that?
Not a Chris Brown fan, huh?
Yeah. After
off the Indigo album.
After Run It and Yo.
Wow, that's only 15 years ago. But yeah,
I'll take you down.
We are back to pod, back to love. You feel me?
And this Christmas.
Yeah, he killed that this Christmas. Listen, I'm just going to throw this disclaimer out here. You know, we be podding in the crib, and you know the team is here, the squad is here. Some of the squad got kids.
Including us.
We got kids. And you know, this is just what it's like. So if y'all hear some kids running around the background, hey.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. All right?
But what this is about to be a fire episode.
Oh, you already know. It's June. You know what I'm saying?
Happy June. Happy.
Are we halfway? Yeah, what takes place in June? So we got to shout out Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying?
First of all, let's go back to June, like the top of June. For those of you, I don't like. Rewind.
Yeah, start over. Yeah. Make sure it's clear. We got people listening that don't know you word tripping.
For those
right
of
now.
you who have been following us since the start of our journey, we are officially a year old. Confetti bombs, confetti bombs, confetti bombs, confetti bombs.
Fireworks.
We released our first episode June 1st, 2021.
That's crazy. What?
And after 24 episodes, we are
That's
officially
crazy.
a year old. So happy birthday to Dysfunctional Family, LLC.
We 1 year old? One
year.
1 year old?
Yeah, it's just 1 year.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun, man.
Dang.
So happy birthday.
We ain't rich yet?
I'm rich. I don't know what you are.
Oh,
happy birthday to Free.
baby.
Why I say happy birthday to Free the Souls? Free the Souls turns 3 this month too, though. On June 10th.
It's a lot of June's thing. What's up with us in June?
Something in the air.
Something creative in the air for
in
us
the air
in June. Listen, I'm excited, man. Do us a favor because it's been a year. Please share our podcast with
everybody.
Someone that you haven't shared with before. Someone that may be either looking to get married or into a serious relationship and just need that advice. Someone that's parenting and struggling, and you know just need the community. Sign up for our Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Do something.
Subscribe to our YouTube.
Subscribe to the YouTube. Do something. Tell us happy anniversary with a like, a comment, a share, something algorithm boosting.
That's your new thing?
That's my new thing. Do something.
Boost the
algorithm boosting. You feel me? But we appreciate everybody that has been rocking with us, supporting and showing love so far. I didn't even realize this was an anniversary episode. I would have got you a gift.
Hey, you all the gift I need, baby.
Oh, why is she macking me right now? Listen, but it is June. You want to tell them what we scoffing about today?
Hoy, we are. I'm gonna like.
Oh my gosh. Oof.
If it's two things our listenership and our
Spanish
viewership
sentence.
likes, if it's two things that I know for a fact y'all like, if there's two things that I know for a fact y'all like, is when I sing, is when I sprinkle that Espanol in. So you're not going to stop me and you're not going to be a hater.
Do you think, bro?
Hoy, we are scoffing about.
Hoy, and then you just jump into English is crazy, but okay. Today, we're scoffing about
El Dia de Padres. Or is it Los Dios? No, it's one day. So El Dia de Padres. Day or des? The Day of Fathers. Father's Day. Today we are scoffing about Father's Day.
I'm not helping her at all. You want to go down that wild spiral and do your thing.
All right, next episode, I'm going to say what we scoffing about, but I'm going to have the whole episode down in Spanish.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to say the whole episode title in Spanish. But, today we are scoffing about Father's Day. And I do want to just jump out the gate. I just want to. The first thing I want to say is stuff happens in my mind. And before it gets to my mouth, it like, you know what I'm saying? It gets
fall down the stairs.
Yeah.
It does.
So y'all forgive me because things don't always
Word
flow as like smoothly as they do for Dashawn. Stuff like just.
Hey, I'm not the English. You got the masters in this.
Yeah, but my mind processes things differently. So like you do it fast because like you freestyle, you rap and stuff. For me, it's just like I need time to like process it and connect the pieces. It's like a puzzle. I'm saying a lot.
Yeah,
but I just want to say
this episode?
I'm doing it. I want to say that we unintentionally didn't do a Mother's Day episode. We, outside of the podcast, y'all know that we do a lot. Dashawn's in school. We run a clothing line. We're parents. We're entrepreneurs. Life, right? We're adults. So we unintentionally forgot to do a Mother's Day episode last month. So we do want to wish all of our mothers, all of our viewers who are mothers, a belated happy Mother's Day. Shout out to y'all.
Extra belated.
Shout out to us. We are bomb. We make the world go round. So happy belated Mother's Day.
Super fact.
Like we carry humans in our bodies.
That's kind of crazy.
Grow humans. That's crazy.
It's wild. Shout outs to y'all.
And they come out of us. Like
Salute.
we don't just grow them. Like we grow them and then like we got to get them out.
Hey, I was there and it was
wild.
The most miraculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Twice. I saw real miracles. So, hey, I can't speak to that context. I have no idea what it's like.
I don't want to talk about that right now. PTSD. But yeah, happy belated Mother's Day to all of our moms, grandmoms, stepmoms, mother figures, godmothers, whatever role you play. Y'all are superheroes. We are superheroes. Thank you for the work that you continue to do. But we made sure once we realized that we missed Mother's Day, we didn't want to miss Father's Day, especially since Father's Day.
I should jump on the couch like Tom Cruise.
Dashawn, don't you dare sit down.
I will Tom Cruise this whole couch right now. What? You know we're in the crib now. I'm about to kick these slippers. Don't make me. Don't make me. Don't make me. What?
I'm not making you or stopping you. So
I will Tom Cruise this whole couch.
are you gonna keep threatening me or are you gonna do it? Because
I kind of partially did it, but I don't want to come out of the
You
frame of the
didn't
camera.
do anything.
I don't want to come out of the frame of the camera, so I kind of like gotta just chill before the team
Well,
gets upset with me.
We were really intentional about making sure that we didn't miss Father's Day, especially because it's not overlooked, but it definitely doesn't receive as much hype and attention as Mother's Day does. The commercials and just the hype behind it, the build up behind Mother's Day is so exponential in comparison to Father's Day.
Yeah.
So we thought it was really important that we did an episode dedicated to fathers and Father's Day. So yes, as we prepared for this episode, we did some research just to kind of see like what's up with Father's Day, right? And we found out that the first Mother's Day was celebrated in 1914. But a holiday honoring fathers did not become official until 1972.
Yo, 58 years is crazy to be like, yo, you know what? They need one too. That's wild. Nah.
How do you know that was the...
I don't know who was at the table, but I just feel like they was there like, you know what?
We should probably just...
Might as well get these fools today too. Like,
that's what they said?
That's
yeah, so...
58 years later, 1914 to 1972.
As a man, as a father...
Yo.
Go ahead, speak to that a little bit.
I will say this. Just being the student of history that I am, there's a couple things that do align with 1914. If I'm not mistaken, that's the year that World War I started.
Tis true.
So, for the first Mother's Day to happen in 1914, this is just my guess. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Clearly. That would make you 106. No,
that's
you
not
would
that
be
bad.
born.
My great grandmother passed at 106.
Yeah, but I mean, for you to be
2020,
born.
shout out to my great grandmother.
Shout out to Emily.
Yeah, she really passed at like 106. So that's a real thing in my bloodline. So get ready to grow old with me, baby. I'm gonna be around. But yeah. So I think historically, here's what I will say: if the first Mother's Day was celebrated in 1914, and World War One started in 1914, there was an increase in like the role and the weight that mothers carried, because where they were once like just domestic, with men being out of the country at war, both black and white, because black men fought for the country too. Let's be clear about that. But with men being out of the country, defending the country at war, I would assume that's when the boom in women working in factories also took place. So
they had to somehow feed their children and just to keep themselves alive.
Exactly. So with that boom of women in the workplace, in the marketplace, and holding down the household, I assume that that's probably a just good year to be like, yo, y'all really holding it down. You know what I'm saying? Like, B.O.B. hold me down. You know what I'm saying? So like, I would guess that makes sense to me. 58 years later to say, yo, fathers, y'all kind of important too, is wild to me.
That is really crazy.
That is wild to me. And I think from the perspective of a father who is hands-on, who is involved, I would say that, like, admittedly, it does feel like the presence of a father in a home isn't valued. And sometimes that's tough to wrestle with. I think just being transparent, like seeing the commercialism of Mother's Day and stuff like that. Now, I know there's a whole science. I don't want to get into the money science, but there's a science behind why women's gifts and women are marketed to more during Mother's Day, because statistics show that women are more inclined to spend their money or shop or say that they want something and actually get it from their loved ones. So I get why in this capitalistic society, why women's marketing,
all these commercials for diamonds,
right? The marketing to women and women's gifts are like a lot, like it's like exponentially higher than for Father's Day. But it's not just the marketing. I think there's just an energy where it's like,
I agree. Yeah,
there's just like this lack of value attributed to men, and I think just as an involved father, sometimes it hurts. And the crazy thing is, I never feel undervalued here. Like the girls love me. I'm always getting random cards, even when it's not a holiday. It's like, Daddy, I love you. Hey, put this Post-it on your computer. And I'm like, but I'm working right now. So just put it on there. And it's just like, Dad, with a heart. And it's like, all right, cool, I'll take it. So, and you do more than you need to do. So, like, I don't feel undervalued in my home. But I think the consensus or the general feeling that I feel outside of the home is like, dang, I know some really, really good dads. Like, not just my own or my grandfather's, but I know just like some really great dads that are my friends. I mean, holding it down. Age group, in our age group, I mean, taking great care of their kids. And it's just like, whew, dang, we don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't get no love. But there's also a statistic that shows that I think majority of men, I forget the percentage, but the majority of men have their first child between the ages of 20 and 24, which I find interesting, because that first 4 years of like formation for the child are the years that men are having their babies. 20 to 24, those like years that line up, the child is probably like 0 to 4. The man is going from 20 to 24 if the average man is having, or 23 to 27 or whatever. And statistics show that men just mature like slower than women, or develop psychologically and emotionally at a much later stage than women do. So I find that interesting, because then that would mean that the formative years of a child's life, the father's still doing a lot of growing up for the majority of fathers who are having their first child at that age.
Wow. While the child is like learning to walk and maybe read a few words here and there, or become independent with feeding themselves snacks and stuff like that, the father's growing up with the child.
Becoming a man.
Not feeding himself and learning to walk, but
he's becoming a man or breaking out of immaturity and childhood ways. So I wonder if that has a lot to do with that like initial disconnect at the start of a kid's life, where they begin to grow with a much stronger bond with their mothers.
Yeah.
Because that disconnect in the relationship where men are maturing while their children are maturing, or while their children are growing up and being the formational years they're dealing with. I wonder if there's a connection there. I don't have like proof to back that up outside of that statistic. But yeah, man, it just feels like we don't get a lot of love, but I'm glad we're talking about it because I think the more it's put on the forefront, then the more others will realize, you know what, there's some great dads out here and they need their love. You know what I'm saying? So, but we here, man. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I don't need your love. I'm just saying,
nothing but love for you.
It would be nice. It would be nice. No.
I do think like going back to just the time frame that we talked about before, Mother's Day first being not legalized, but yeah, kind of legalized. Made it wasn't national. Illegal, but yeah, made a holiday. Yeah. In 1914, and Father's Day happened like 50 years ago. 58 years. However, the first, even though it wasn't, it didn't become like a national holiday until 1972. The first document.
1914.
No, I'm talking about Father's Day.
Oh, sorry. I still talking about mothers. My bad.
Even though
see, I'm so
you so anti Father's Day. It's just like no.
My
don't
brain
even
is
talk
so
about it.
primed to prioritize the mom that I just like. Oof. I thought you were still talking about Mother's Day. I thought we left me.
So even though Father's Day didn't become an official holiday until 1972, the first recorded celebration of Father's Day did occur in 1910. So it wasn't like official or nationwide or anything like that. But there was a woman
1910. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
There was a woman in Spokane, Washington.
Talk that Father's Day talk.
Named Sonora Dodd.
Shout out to Sonora. Rest in peace.
You want to let me tell my story?
Yeah, I'm just co-signing. I'm cheerleading for Father's Day, baby. Let's go. Keep going.
You know what? It's about Father's Day.
Yeah, so go. Let's go. Sonora.
Okay, so Sonora Dodd was raised by her father because her mom died early on. Well, no, her mom died during childbirth. Dang. So she was listening to a sermon, a Mother's Day sermon in church one Sunday, and just began to think about all that her father had done, all that her father had done. Yeah, I said it right. Had done to raise her, without having a mom around. So she encouraged the churches in the area of Spokane, Washington, to celebrate Father's Day that month because her father's birthday was born in June. Her father was born in June.
Okay.
So she just encouraged people in the neighborhood to celebrate fathers that month. So the first documented Father's Day was 1910. And just thinking about that, how her father, I don't know what her ethnicity or race or background or anything is, but just thinking about how she had a father step up and do what he was supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without having a mom and being a girl, I can only imagine like how not having a mom your entire life could affect you. Yeah. Just hearing her story and reading about her story just made me grateful for my children having an active father and knowing that God forbid if anything happened to me that you wouldn't abandon them. You know what I mean? You would do I'm really trying to be serious and you just like acting
meditation,
up. Salute. And you really acting up, y'all. I'm trying to be serious. Like the one episode, like I try to like be mature.
I appreciate that, Queen. Keep going.
Just made me grateful that I can rest assured knowing that if God forbid anything happened to me, my girls would be well taken care of.
Y'all hear that? I'm gonna hold it down. Y'all hear that? I'm gonna hold it down.
All right, go ahead.
Y'all hear that? There's cameras everywhere. I'm gonna hold it down.
You don't get out of here.
I'm gonna hold it down.
Just go. Go ahead. I'm gonna just let you just go.
There is a crazy statistic that like kind of
we dropping mad stats.
Yeah, like this is like a
fact-packed episode.
Fact-packed.
Fact-packed.
What's a bar? But there is a statistic that I saw in our research that kind of hit me off guard. It said, I think it was like the study was done a couple years ago. It was like 2016, so like over half a decade. Like this might be updated information, but at that time, dads spend 6 hours less per week on childcare than moms. And I thought, in spite of my complaints about the overwhelming lack of love that we see bequeathed to fathers on Father's Day, I think that that sometimes may be a result of a statistic like this, right? Like spending 6 hours less per week on childcare. Childcare impacts the connection kids feel, right?
Yeah.
I think when it comes to feeding and nursing, when it comes to cleaning and helping with all these intimate formational things like homework and stuff like that, kids feel and know when that fracture is there.
Yeah.
So like even if like you're out all day and then you come home and you give them a little bit of love, if they don't see you doing the things that directly impact them, subconsciously I think they kind of internalize you're not as significant, because to them at that age, the significant ones, before they get to all these complexified emotional needs, at that age, at younger and formational years, the significant ones are the ones that take care of my needs. If you clean me, bathe me, feed me, you know what I mean, make me laugh every once in a while, throw me up every once in a while, but really take care of the stuff I need. Put my head on your shoulder when I have a fever, rub my back when I'm not feeling well. Like, if moms are spending 6 more hours on that type of stuff per week, I could imagine that could impact some of the lack of importance that fathers may be classified or labeled with.
Because you could be present, but if you're not doing anything, it just feels like. Because I had from my own personal experience, I had a father who was present. He was in the house, who is present.
Yeah, I was don't talk like
no, I mean, my father hasn't passed away yet. He's alive. But I have a father who's present. Saw him like every day. Lived with me, lived with us, my mom and my sisters. But he was very emotionally distant. Like if I needed money for like SAT prep, or if I wanted to go shopping, like he would give me the money to get the things that I need. But I wasn't just out hanging out with my dad. I can remember a handful of times where he like took us to the park or took us to McDonald's to get like breakfast in the morning, and I was super young, so those memories are super vague to me. But he was there in the house, but he wasn't like there, you know what I mean? So there's definitely a disconnect. So being present does not always equate to being a good dad.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
No, that's a bomb. That's a really heavy load to drop. I think that it's important coming from a father to say we have to sort of distinguish the things that we think make us a good father from the things that actually make us a good father. And I think sometimes we think, because of how we've been primed, how we've been trained and societally programmed, we think our only role is provide. So if we do that well, we think we have done a good job.
So much more than that.
And
man.
it goes beyond that, because here's the deal. At the end of the day, there are a ton of mothers, both single and ones that are in relationship, co-parenting, married, whatever relationship dynamic you have. There are mothers who are providing, but then also doing the emotional needs stuff. So it's like, okay, what's the excuse? Why do they have to do it, right? So I think it is important for us as men to be aware that don't stop protecting, don't stop providing, but don't think that. Can I pod?
Pod.
Can
I'm
I pod?
I'm gonna let you do it this time. I usually give you grief for it, but pod.
Can I pod? Okay. Don't think that protection means only keeping your children physically safe when they're in danger. Because I think sometimes we think, my job is to provide and protect, right? As a father, as a man, I provide and protect. And I don't think that's not true. But here's the deal. Sometimes we limit protection to just making sure our kids are physically safe. And how often, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen, depending on where you live, it might happen more often than other places, but how often are your kids like getting ran up on by some man that you got to be outside. Like, you know what I mean? It's not, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but how often is it happening where like every day of the week you got to run outside and fight for your kids?
Yeah.
Or you got to run up to the school and beat some man up there, touch your daughter. Or you got to run, like that. Those occurrences are so rare that men kind of get an out because it's like, I'm a good dad if I protect. But the need to protect physically is such a rarity in comparison to what we're saying makes a good mom. The things that make a good mom are reoccurring, perpetual things that have to be done on a daily basis in our society standards. You get what I'm saying?
And honestly, like, even if I was ever in a situation where I needed my dad to step in for me because of the relationship that we have, I wouldn't even want him to, just because emotionally, like, I don't know if I trust him. Like,
well, that's your dad. I'm not
saying,
talking.
like,
I'm just speaking in
like,
general.
Yeah. I'm making it. I'm using my life experience, but
Oh,
I'm
okay,
making a
gotcha.
general statement. Like, if you don't make sure that an emotional relationship is secure and solid, your child is probably not really gonna care for you to protect them.
Nah, I disagree there.
Physically. Like, I don't.
Just growing up in the hood, I disagree. I know people that had like broken relationships with their father, but they knew their father would shake for them. So it's
Yeah,
like,
but I don't really.
I know some people in the hood who, I'm gonna call my father, and they go, they get their dad. They ain't see their dad in forever, but you don't need an emotional connection to want your life to be preserved. If I think I'm in danger and I don't think my mother can beat up this man that spoke to me wrong at a corner store, I'm calling my dad.
But it's feel like I don't trust you. To be there for me. Like, if you're not there for me. I just don't think
you've been in that position.
No,
I'm gonna be
haven't.
honest. So I don't think you trust me. If you think your dad can hold it down, you calling your father. Especially depending on the neighborhood you from, you're calling your dad. If you haven't had to be there, no disrespect.
No, I don't feel disrespected.
Your
I just feel
perspective
like
is valued, but I think don't think like the lack of trust emotionally you have for other things that have been important. I'm talking, and that's the problem. I'm talking like there are some people out here that think like, yo, I'm gonna watch somebody mess with my child, and it's like, yeah, sure, but is that often? And it's not. Yeah. And men are getting an out because they're saying they would protect if the need came up. I would shoot if the need came up. I would fight if the need came up. But then those are like not reoccurring
need is like
needs.
Winning the lotto is probably
exactly. It's just not happening that often. You know what I mean? Whereas if we say, but what makes you a good mother is being a nurturer and emotionally there. And it's like, well, dang, I got to do that every day. So your joint comes up once every 7 years. Or if we live in a rough neighborhood, maybe like twice or 3 times a year where you got to go outside and protect your child.
Yeah.
But hers comes up every day. So we got to break that stigma because especially after the pandemic, 2020, there are so many dads that are just like stepping up with being more hands-on in the house because they realize like this gender roles don't really matter. I gotta listen. If she's holding it down with the homework or virtual learning, I gotta do something. Let me go vacuum this floor or something. You know, and there's so many dads that are upping their level of care or in-home care that you know, as a father, I just think it's important to make sure, even though we kind of did it in this episode, but when Father's Day comes around, that we're not highlighting how bad of a job dads are doing.
Right.
The day is to uplift and amplify the work of the men that are there. Nobody on Mother's Day comes around and says, you know, it's some bad mothers out here, right?
Right. The day's about
some crack fiend moms. You know what I mean? Like, we don't do that. But when Father's Day comes around, it's like, well, my dad wasn't here. It's like, all right, cool. I get it. But let's celebrate. I know you probably got a brother, an uncle, a grandfather, a cousin. Your father might not have been there for you, but you might be that great father. Celebrate yourself. Yeah. Like, yo, my dad wasn't here, but I'm taking care of mine. My son is with me. Yeah. I'm with my son. I'm going to his games. I'm providing for him. I'm having discussions with him emotionally about his emotional needs. You know what I mean? And I think that we got to make sure we're highlighting that and not highlighting, well, my dad wasn't here, so shout out to the single mother who was dads and fathers. It's like, salute, mom. I know you held it down.
I
but
really
like,
hate that rhetoric.
I ain't gonna get into that because some women take that. I'm not in a place to speak to that because some women take that personally.
Like, you are just an excellent mom, and thank you for it. But you are not a father figure to your daughter or son. Like, there is no way.
She said it, not me.
Thank you for being an amazing mother, but you're not a father to your child. And we're moving.
Okay. Yep. All right. Well, today for this episode of this.
Nah.
No, but I say that to say, let's just make sure the day, and this is coming from a man who appreciates being appreciated, and let's make sure the day is highlighting the ones that are doing good.
That's it.
That's it. It's not about pointing out the ones that messed up.
Let's just have a good time.
And I'm listen. Since what you said, this episode was fact packed. This is fact packed.
Fact pack.
Statistics show that fathers who are present, the child ends up coming out better. There's different ways. I don't know if you want to speak to that. There's different ways that they come out better or avoiding some trouble or tragedy in life. But I just want to throw that out there. So stop overlooking us like we're not important. We here.
Why are you so angry?
I'm gonna speak up. I'm gonna speak up for that. Because 58 years later, after
know.
Mother's Day
All
was
right.
declared national,
But
that's why I'm angry.
Urgh.
I said Tom Cruise on this count. Sorry.
In closing, we just really want to encourage fathers to be present and to be active.
Facts.
Both. You can't be present. You can, but it's not as effective to be present and not be active. You can be active and not present, even though I'm sure it's a lot harder to do that. But if you are present, if you're not present, please get into your child's life. And once you're there, be active, get involved as much as you can. And just set good examples. Because like you said, having a father figure around just avoids or lessens the possibility of the child getting arrested or committing juvenile crimes or even getting into substance abuse.
Also, it lowers the amount of runaways, children who run away from home. The statistics show that more children who run away from home, their fathers are not present. So that's another thing. So
Thank you. So yeah, I mean, the message is the message is to be present. The kid is better off for you being there or because of you being there. But thank you to all of the fathers who are present, who are active, who are doing the best that you can to be a good dad. We appreciate you. We salute you. We support you. We lift you up. We all the good things to you. Thank you. And for those of you who know someone who is a dad and isn't present or isn't as present as they could be, encourage them. Make them feel guilty about not being in their child's life. That child deserves a fair chance at everything life has to offer through their father being present and whatever influence positive. You know, if they're not like gonna be a good influence, don't encourage it. But for those of you who know, like, he's a decent guy. He's just,
yeah. And listen, I think we have to address this because I don't want to like overlook the elephant in the room. And I think I'm going to say this, and people of color, black folk in particular, if you have trouble, feel free to email us. If you have trouble, I'm not trouble, but if you have an issue with what I'm going to say, let's just be very clear. This dilemma of lack of fatherhood in our communities is a lot higher than in other communities. Let's just put it out on the table. Statistically, there are more black fathers that walk away from their families than there are of any other race. Look it up yourself, okay? That being said, I think it's important to name that there's a really rough and troubled history that's connected to that too, right? Plantations, families being stripped apart, men being demasculated,
emasculated
in front of their families. You know what I mean? In front of their brides, their wives being raped in front of them.
Yeah, it's a lot of
fathers
trauma.
who were part of Underground Railroad movements or other abolitionist movements, other slave escape plans, and if they couldn't bring their family, they would be out. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, and some others did it too, but it was just more prevalent. Being sold if you were more strong, if your body was stronger.
Yeah.
Being sold at a higher price and stripped from your family. So there's a real generational trauma. You know what I mean? If we go into modern day, like 90s, and you know what I mean? We talked about this in that previous episode. Drug laws that were enacted that took such a high percentage of black fathers out of the home. So like, let's just be clear, there are systems against us being present.
Yeah.
Right? Women being, I don't know if I should be getting into this, but women being rewarded, right, for not being married and not having men. Oh, you got to get this man out the house if you want these WIC benefits. You got to get this man out the house if you want these food stamps. You got to get this man out the house if you want this rental assistance.
So of course
a
you're
mother's going to choose
your
survival for her child. So it's
Yeah.
like, you got to go. Right? So women being sort of incentivized, especially in the black community, for getting rid of men.
Yeah.
So then what now happens is they feel they have to be independent women instead of interdependent women. And men feel, I don't need no chick in my life. I'm going to just go sow my wild oats and keep it moving. And now we've created this tension within our community that doesn't need to be there, because there are so many systems that have tried to set us apart. And if we get back to loving on each other and really having these conversations, I think things like Father's Day will be a lot more celebrated and appreciated, because we will dismantle and speak against all of these structural, systemic things that have tried to break our families apart and separate us from one another. Don't let them win.
One more thing. I'm sorry.
Say
and
it.
I promise we're done.
Don't promise. We podding
Okay. I
on the
think.
couch.
Yep. We're doing that. Men, you don't get to. You do, but you don't. You don't get to choose to not be in your child's life when the mother doesn't have that same quote unquote privilege, especially in today's climate where abortion rights are being like eradicated. If a woman is forced now to carry and birth a child, be it through rape, be it through anything, a child with disabilities, or you know that your child risking the health of the mother and the baby, like the doctors are telling you that the child is going to be born with little to no chance of survival, or going to be born with whatever it is. Like if there are so many laws being put in place now to control birth, just abortion rights and women not being able to choose to be a mother, it is unfair for you to participate in creating that child and then removing yourself from the situation and leaving her with the burden.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree. And I also want to say, I would hope that our sisters too, I don't want to make this contentious because I wholeheartedly agree with you. So let me make that clear. I want to add that I would hope that the flip side is I know, I'm not going to, disclose nobody's name and stuff. I know really close and personal people to me who are great fathers, or who have attempted to be, but because of tension between them and the mom, have been kept out of their lives. And I want to make a special shout out to those dads that are going through that, because that doesn't get highlighted enough. And I know it's not like an everyday thing, but it happens.
Please don't be bitter.
It happens. You continue to do what you need to do. Look out for your kids when you can. Provide for them. Check up on them. Call them. Even if you're being pushed out, you're still a father. You're still making your efforts. And not to take us to church, but God sees your efforts and will make sure you get what you deserve with your child. I'm looking at this camera and I'm saying that. God sees your efforts. Fathers who are struggling to overcome the barrier of a baby mother or a past relationship that is keeping you out, even when you've been a good father. God sees and will reward you. All right?
In Jesus' name.
Believe that.
Amen.
I didn't pray. I'm just speaking it. All right?
So.
Yeah, man. Happy Father's Day,
Happy
y'all.
Father's Day. Thank you to all the fathers out there. So, y'all, for this edition, this episode's This or That, Dashawn is going to answer all of the questions. They're we tried to find questions that were as father related as possible, whatever. But
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Get my marker.
Okay. Oh, you didn't like that one?
Yeah, I like this color.
He's gonna be answering the 3 questions this episode.
Let's get it.
So I'll read all of them and then you can give your response.
Okay.
Question 1. Would you rather cook dinner or do the dishes? Cook, dish. Cook, dish. Boom, boom.
I'm ready.
Boom. Cook?
Cook.
You're a pretty good cook. I ain't mad at it. What's your reasoning?
Cooking just comes with more appreciation. I think like doing the dishes.
That's pride.
It's a thankless job. You know what I mean? So I think I mean I don't mind doing it. It's not like I don't do either. It's just you're asking what I prefer to do. I think cooking you watch people enjoy something that you
yeah.
contributed to.
Yeah.
Whereas dishes, you don't watch people say, "Man, this is a clean plate." Whew, thank you for that clean fork. Like it just is like, ooh, okay. But whereas cooking, like people like they laugh over food. We sit at a table, we enjoy, we dine, and you watch people like enjoy something you contributed to.
You know, this steak tasting like the ball.
Yeah, shout out to Marty Ball. But that ironically was a meal that he did not eat.
He did it.
So
Because he thought she was trying to poison him to
Yeah.
his life insurance.
it's crazy.
Anyway, moving on. Number 2.
That's crazy. I never thought that.
What?
Like that you would do something like you see this in TV shows. It's like in real life, but like that
Because
you
my
would
thing
like.
is these life insurance policies be trash. Like, you really gonna
Not
kill
mine.
I mean, yours is not.
Oh, I'm about to say.
You really gonna kill
Y'all be
somebody
bo-
for like 50? Like, if you see
Y'all
like
be
on
balling.
Snapped or whatever, these people be killing their partner, their spouse, their family member for like $50,000. It's like, really?
Nah, y'all be balling if I died though.
That's really like
Shout out to Jumpin' Jack Taxes and Jumpin' Jack Life Insurance, always holding me down.
black owned, right?
Black owned. So I
Yeah,
had to shout 'em
Jumpin'
out.
Jack Texas.
Well, not the tax company. They
Well,
do my
Jumpin'
taxes, but
Jack.
they also provide my life insurance. I have more than one policy though, so like shout out
Okay,
to them.
let's not tell all
But I
our
want-
business. Okay, we're moving on. Would you rather? We're not gonna tell all the people. All right. All right.
It's only $10.
Would you rather $10
Next.
be able to only watch football or basketball? I know football is your first love, but
Yeah.
basketball, you've kind of feel like it's more.
Yeah.
It's replaced it.
Basketball.
Okay.
I think basketball, I just prefer the watch, whereas football was my first love. I would probably be more challenged if you asked me which one I prefer to play more.
But which do you prefer to play more?
I really love both. So
But you have to pick.
I don't. That's not your question. I said I would have been
it's
more
like
challenged.
A bonus one. It's
No.
a bonus question.
We
It's
didn't even get through the third one. How you gonna give me a bonus before we finish the ones that we got?
Have a little fun. Live a little.
I think my answer would still be basketball, but it just would have been a harder choice to make because I love to play football.
No, that was me. I was.
Oh, I thought you were telling me something was on my face.
Scratch. I just probably
For those listening on podcast platform, she scratched her face. I thought she
No,
was telling me
I was itching.
I had like food or something on my face.
You haven't eaten anything all day but an apple.
Not true.
What you ate?
Vitamins.
That's not food. You're nuts. Apple on your face is crazy, by the way. Thinking you had food on your face when all you ate was an apple.
First of all, I don't
is
say.
crazy.
First of all, it didn't have to be food. It could have been.
Nah, you just said I
smudge.
thought I had food on my face or
I
something.
said food or something. Exactly, or something like
But
you.
food is in there, so you even considering
Apple
one
skin. Something. Apple pit. I don't know.
You didn't even finish. Y'all, I just want y'all to know, right now, while we're recording, it is 8:10 p.m. Dashawn had an apple today, and he hasn't even finished it yet.
In the words of Michael Jackson in the Jackson 5, just a little bit of you every day will surely keep the doctors away. Said just a little
We're
bit
not talking
of
about
you
health
every
right now. We're talking
day.
about like,
surely keep the doctors away.
see, he been singing a lot. He been singing. He trying to like take the throne, and I'm not feeling it.
And come up with more songs.
Last question.
Let's get to it.
Would you rather be bald and in shape or overweight with hair? I don't like what you just did with your throat. Bald and in shape or overweight with hair? I never heard that song. Surely keep the doctors away.
Said just a little bit of you every day will surely keep the. You know, I'm an MJ fan. I go back.
All right, just
all the
answer
way to the
the
Jackson
question.
5.
I know.
Balling in shape,
I don't-
baby. That's pretty easy. Being in shape has a lot to do with your freaking health. And I'm not going to be walking around unhealthy with a head full of hair.
You could be overweight and healthy.
Yes. But just, Now, see, you're
That's
trying to trap me into shaming, and I'm not
I
gonna
am.
body shame.
Why would I do that? I wouldn't even body shame
We're
somebody.
not even famous yet. You're trying to get me
I'm
canceled.
famous. Hey y'all.
Yes, you can be
Hey.
overweight and in shape. It's the possibility of that is just more unlikely.
Okay.
Yeah. You said in shape, so I'd rather be in shape than overweight, if that's what you're
I'm
asking.
gonna shave your hair off tonight
Why would you do that?
because you're in shape,
But
and that's what you want to do.
I'm not.
That's what you
want
to be. You want to be bald, so I'm shaving your head. He's gonna be bald for episode 25. This was fun. This was good.
If I'm sitting
Thank
here with
you
no
to
hair in
all of the
episode
fathers.
25, she'd be sitting here with no hands on episode 25. Let's just be very clear about that. She got the nubs, I got the baldy. Period.
You gonna have me out here?
You gonna have me out here?
Your hair can grow back. My hands cannot. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for rocking with us.
That's a good point.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, download. As Dashawn says, do everything to boost the algorithm. Shop freetosourceclothing.com. Also, shout out to Healthy Marriage is Dope. Shout out to Tear on the T and the cap. We love y'all. See y'all next time.
Black on all that.
Oh, yeah, everything is black owned.
Everything is black owned. The world is black owned. The earth is black owned.
I feel like it's true, but it's making me uncomfortable and scared.
Black owned.